Stay tuned and let's take a look at this Marvel Legends 2-pack with Drax the Destroyer and Moondragon. Ciao and welcome back to the channel, Dan Who Reviews. As always, my name is Dan W. Make sure you are following me on Instagram at It's Dan Who. And remember now you can hit that join button and become a channel member as well. Either show some love or join the members club. Much appreciated. Today we are taking a look at this Marvel Legends Cosmic Daddy and Daughter 2-pack with Drax the Destroyer and Moondragon. Now the packaging says Guardians of the Galaxy because yes, at some point or another, both of these characters have been a member of that team, but not really in these particular looks. Both of these looks are from different sort of eras in the comics, and we will break that down, but I am very happy to add for the first time in the Marvel Legends line, Moondragon. She was definitely a gap in the collection and has been a part of other teams like the Avengers and the Defenders. And then if you were reading comics in the 90s, this is probably the Drax you wanted. This is the sort of reincarnated Drax in his bigger, bulkier form we have never had in the Marvel Legends line either. So two new character designs for the collection today. So very much looking forward to opening this one. Boring plastic-free packaging on the front with the digital renders, comic images on one side, digital renders on the other, and on the back with a breakdown of the accessories. Not many, both come with a set of interchangeable hands, and Drax comes with an interchangeable head. So let's get it open. So here we have Drax the Destroyer and Moondragon out of the packaging. Now it may not seem like it, but I promise you these two are definitely related. It's a complicated backstory, but they are both from Earth and Thanos has a lot to do with it. As you know, Drax is obsessed. But here we have the accessories they come with. As I said, not a lot, but I do like the head sculpts we get here with Drax. Two different expressions, two different options for the display. I appreciate that. And the green is very like neon. It sort of stands out really well, like it's really bright and vibrant. He will undoubtedly pop on the shelf, and I'm just happy to have Moondragon in the collection in some form. It's not my mind's eye, but more of that in a minute. So we'll look at these individually one by one, and let's just start off with that big brute himself, Drax. Drax, real name Arthur Douglas, was a human killed by Thanos while on a scouting mission on Earth. Arthur's soul was intercepted by Mentor and Kronos, who created a being of great power with the sole purpose to kill Thanos. Memories wiped and a new body, Arthur became Drax the Destroyer. Of course, Drax would go on to chase Thanos around the galaxy, and they would encounter and fight on many occasions, and they both died and were resurrected. Now, this Marvel Legend actually represents the first major time Drax was resurrected after he died at the hands of his own daughter and his memories were wiped, but this time he was brought back bigger, beefier, stronger than before, but unfortunately his mind was still wiped, so he was very dumb. This is like the start of the 90s, just before he joined Adam Warlock's Infinity Watch, and he was in charge of guarding the power gem, but he thought it was a jelly bean and he ate it. That's a true story. But this is a great looking head sculpt. I really like the digital face print in here. That makes the sort of dark shadowing around those red eyes, and the sculpt and texture on the face is really nicely done. He looks like he should be a cast member of the Haunted Mansion. It is very neon green with like the purple mask and ear guards that go all the way around and sort of match what his cape is. But we do get an alternative head sculpt, and that's more like it. A much more meaner, angrier facial expression for Drax with his mouth wide open. You can see his teeth. He's looking much angrier now, but still have this sort of shading around the red eyes. And again, I think they've done a great job with both of these head sculpts. So you have options for the shelf as always. You have your more neutral, bland, but he still looks angry, or you can just go full out raging Drax the Destroyer. So let's keep that angry head on and get the tape measure out. He is like a Build-A-Figure scale, so you can see that he is over 8 inches in height. I think they're reusing the Caliban body, but you guys are better at that game than me. You know I love saying this, but the colours are undoubtedly going to pop on a shelf. That green is very neon with the purples and a little bit of gold to break that up with the bout and the gauntlets here on the wrists. A little bit of gold there on the cape as well. The cape only goes to about the knee length and it just sort of sits on his shoulder, but because it's a big figure, it can hold the weight and stand up no problem at all. And there is some nice skulls sculpted on the bout there on the front, and then also for the clasp of the actual cape. We can pop the head off, and take the cape off. As I said, that's one solid piece. Nicely sculpted, to be fair. Let's plug this back on to take a look at the body. As I said, it's what we've seen before, but it's big, it's chunky. It does have some sort of sculpted veins in there as well to show the musculature. But the arms go up to 90, bicep swivel, single jointed elbow. The bout does ride up, but if you push that down, it's a separate piece. You can utilize more of the ab crunch forward and back. The legs are also pretty good, forward about that much. Decent double jointed knees for the big figure. It's got thigh cut. It would look like it has boot cut, but it doesn't. It has ankle pivot and rocker. So a decent amount of range for such a big character. You're going to be able to get them into some great fighting poses, I think, as you should for Drax the Destroyer. And the look, as I said, is a great representation of this particular version of Drax that has appeared recently in the comics as well. So if anything, this is a more modernized looking 2-pack, as the Moondragon we've got as well is also a modernized look. But yeah, so far so good. Now straight out the box, he comes with a set of fisted hands, so you can get him punching people or just looking very angry. Then we also get a set of grabby hands, an open palm, more expressive. They are your only accessories, unfortunately, but they do give him a little bit of character. And we will do some more comparisons, but before we move on, I did just want to see how he looked compared to his arch nemesis, Thanos. Now, in my mind, I always assumed that these two were around about the same size and height, but I guess it is accurate that this version of Drax would be just a little bit bigger and beefier, which he is compared to probably the best version of Thanos we have in Marvel Legends form. So yes, absolutely, these two look great together. Moving on to Drax's estranged daughter, it is of course a character we have never had before in the Marvel Legends line. Moondragon, who fits in multiple teams. Now, my mind's eye will always be in that more skimpy green swimsuit where she shows a lot of skin. This particular look is a little bit more modernized, and the only real accurate reference I could find was from a recent mobile game called Avengers Alliance, but she did also wear something similar in the recent Guardians of the Galaxy. But it still is undoubtedly Moondragon with the bold hair and the crescent moon clasp on her cape in the green, and she does still show a little bit of skin. We even get a little bit of cleavage there, which is odd for Marvel Legends, but I'm not complaining. She is just over 6 inches tall, and she is completely pinless as well. However, the arms are single jointed elbows, but still aesthetically looking very nice with the digital face printing tech looking really nice on the head sculpt. Now, before we look, in case you don't know anything about Heather, let me try my best to explain. Moondragon, real name Heather Douglas, is the daughter of Drax, who at a young age was taken by Mentor to be raised on Titan. Here she was raised by monks and mastered both mental and physical disciplines. The cosmic entity, Dragon of the Moon, invaded her mind, influencing her in not always positive ways. This one's got a bit of an ego, definitely thinks she's better than everyone else, and has caused some trouble for our heroes in the comics. Doing the wrong thing for the right reasons, has some villainous tendencies, a bit of an anti-hero if you couldn't tell, with this raised eyebrow expression on the head sculpt, which is very nicely done with the digital face printing tech looking very crisp and clean there, with the green lipstick, the green eyeshadow, the raised eyebrows, and I really like her crescent moon earrings she has on either side. And the advantage of being bold, inspired by the monks that raised her, means the articulation is much better than a lot of females we have. She can look all the way up, bury the chin, look side to side, so no problem with that at all. But I do like her little expression there. As I said, she's a bit villainous at times, and that facial expression tells you all you need to know. The crescent moon is here on the chest as well. There's that cleavage that I told you about, but it has been flattened out. Now that is keyed in. The cape is keyed in, but it has also got a plug in the back. So if I zoom out and look up the cape here, you can see there's a peg at the back and a peg. So a hole and a peg will stick in there, but even if I took the head off, that cape wouldn't move anyway, so that's sort of attached. The arms will go up to 90. These are reused arms, as I said, single jointed elbows. A big disappointment. If this was double jointed elbows, I couldn't really find a fault with this figure, but they are the single joint, so that's a shame. The legs are double jointed and pinless though, so they are a lot sturdier, no more jelly legs. She has got a nice double jointed knee, swiveled at the thigh there. Legs go quite far up as well, out to the side. So decent range there. Again, with females, lack of the ab crunch. She doesn't really have a lot there. Like, she does wiggle a little bit at the top of this diaphragm. That's where you're going to get this swivel, but no waist articulation. It's all up top here. But the design of the outfit does hide that articulation nicely, and she does look good. Like, she undoubtedly looks good. As I said, not my preference for design, but still happy to add her to the collection. Out of the box, she comes with a set of fisted hands, and she also comes with a set of open palm, much more expressive hands. And I do think people are going to have much more fun with this one than you expect, because it's a character we have been needing in the collection. She can fit in many spaces: Avengers, Defenders, Guardians of the Galaxy. Now, this more modernized look definitely fits more of the Guardians realm, but hopefully this opens the door for a different outfit in the future, but you can still make it work in the display. Moving into comparisons, Moondragon, as I said, has been part of so many different teams. I could be here all day bringing in different characters. But here we have a couple. Hellcat, she actually took to Titan at one point. And then we have Captain Marvel, bringing back in Drax as we go through a couple of more. We've got 3 Cape characters on the table. Definitely take up some real estate. But we have Beta Ray Bill and Adam Warlock, who definitely goes with these two if you want to build your Infinity Watch. Now, where is Pip the Troll? Here we have Captain America and Moondragon. And I think when she sort of betrayed the Avengers, she was banished to Asgard, and that's when she got involved with Valkyrie and ended up tagging along with the Defenders. She was also in love with Matt Murdock Daredevil at some point in the comics, but way further in the future. I think she's now with the female version of Quasar. Again, correct me if I'm wrong. But here we have another Marvel Legend body type. It is, of course, the Vulcan body. And just to show you how big and imposing Drax actually is, he is much bigger and bulkier than both Ronan and Space Knight Venom. And then here we have some of the Who crew with Frogman, Tigra and Jocasta, who's going to read out a comment from the last Marvel Legends review.
Zeno8484 says, still waiting on a comic version of the Black Order. Come on, Hasbro, Thanos needs his entourage.
And then last but not least, Captain Britain and Hal, Fire, Hank. So, final thoughts on this Marvel Legends Guardians of the Galaxy 2-pack with Drax the Destroyer and Moondragon. It's a family affair, this one, and 2 cosmic characters we desperately needed for the world building of our collection. We have never had a Moondragon in the Legends line ever, and even in this more modernized look, I'm happy to have her. Hoping we get the classic look one day in the future if Hasbro find a way to get it out there. And Drax in this look we have never had. Yes, technically we've had different versions of Drax in his more modern look in the Epic Heroes line single packed, and then again in the Guardians of the Galaxy box set, which all of those characters need a re-release if it's up to me, but hopefully we get them eventually. Even still, happy to add these to the collection. Now, are they perfect? No, of course not. Drax could be pinless, we could have the double jointed elbows on Moondragon, more accessories, some effect pieces at the very least. I would like to see Drax's cape keyed in so it doesn't slip back all the time, but that's being nitpicky. For me, it's all about world building, and I'm happy to add these 2 characters, but everyone has their own perspective, so you can let me know in the comments below. But if you like Marvel Legends, one thing is for sure, you're in the right place. Check out the videos tab, find the playlist, the podcast, but most importantly, please hit that subscribe button, hit all on the notification bell, don't miss out on a video, and please hit that join button, become a channel member, either show some love or join the members club. Much appreciated. Follow me on Instagram at It's Dan Who. I'm on Twitter as well. Tweet me, Dan Who Reviews. Does anyone still use threads? I didn't think so. As always, I will of course see you on the next one.